If you thought all brides went for subtle makeup on their wedding day, think again. These amazing wedding makeup looks from different cultures will blow your mind. Just wait until you see the futuristic beauty trend that's bound to be a bridal classic in the near future. If this is your first time visiting our channel, make sure you subscribe, and while you're at it, check out our latest addition to the family, The Trendy, a cool channel for teenagers. Today we're sharing 10 crazy wedding makeup trends from around the world. Gems. Many of us are used to seeing brides with understated makeup on their wedding days, but in a remote part of Europe, bridal makeup is anything but subtle. It's a glorious celebration of colorful gems. In the village of Ribnovo in southwest Bulgaria, Slavic Muslims' weddings have many traditions, one of which is the bride's makeup. She starts out by painting her hands with henna. The next day, she lies down as her female relatives and girlfriends spend hours decorating her face. They use white paint and jewels. This is a practice that dates back hundreds of years. The bride then has to keep her eyes closed as she's guided outside her parents' house. She keeps her eyes shut as she walks to her new husband's house. Are you keen to learn more about these ceremonies? They take place in winter over the 2 full days of a weekend. The whole village gets involved with up to 60 people helping to set up each wedding. They build a bedroom for the newlyweds outside the bride's family's house on the Saturday morning. These bedrooms are just as elaborate as the makeup. Villagers also construct a tall wall outside the family home. Friends and family hang clothes, blankets, and rugs on the wall as gifts to the newlyweds. They leave more presents outside the house. In the afternoon, there are big parties with eating, dancing, and pinning money on the bride and groom. Sounds really fun, doesn't it? Painted patterns. Have you ever heard of pointillism? It's a technique where artists paint tiny dots and patterns to create a picture. The French painters Georges Seurat and Paul Signac developed this style in the 1880s, but decorating with tiny dots goes back much further than that in Kosovo. In fact, it's a tradition that dates back 1,000 years, and rather than a canvas, the dots are painted onto a bride's face. There are many layers of color that are applied onto the white base. They are painted on in different patterns, and they all have meanings. The red circles symbolize fertility. These are surrounded by 3 golden circles on each cheek and on the chin. These represent the cycles of life. They're tied to each other by zigzags of more gold paint, which symbolize the roads that the bride will cross during her lifetime. All of the blue and red dots are born out of the inner red circle, and they cover the entire face. These bestow wishes of health and happiness for her family. The tradition has been passed from generation to generation in a remote part of the South Kosovo. However, it's in danger of disappearing completely. That's because there's just one woman left in the area who still knows how to prepare brides' faces in this way. Wouldn't it be a great shame if this tradition died out? Red circles. Red paint is also used on brides in Korea, but not quite to the extent we've seen on brides in Kosovo. In a traditional Korean wedding, the woman getting married will have 3 red circles placed on her face. The one of the forehead is called jeonji. The 2 on the cheeks are called gonji. They are placed there to drive away evil spirits. They are also believed to give the bride purity. Not only that, but they symbolize love towards the bride. So now we've learned what the makeup means, let's discover more about the wedding fashion. When it comes to the bridal gown, Korean brides typically have 3 outfit changes. For the wedding ceremony itself, they usually wear a white gown. They then change into a traditional outfit called a hanbok after the wedding ceremony itself. This is a skirt that is worn under a short jacket that has long sleeves and 2 long ribbons. The outfit is completed with a pair of boat-shaped shoes worn over white socks. The bride wears this attire for the ceremony where she and her new husband seek blessings from their parents. This is when the parents sit down with their children and offer stories of wisdom on marriage. They share food that symbolizes parenthood and even play games like catching chestnuts and dates. Henna. Henna figures prominently in many cultures' bridal beauty customs. This day is made from the leaves of the tropical henna shrub. The leaves are turned into powder and then mixed with liquids like water, tea, coffee, eucalyptus oil, or lime. Henna is used to create temporary tattoos or change the color of hair. In certain parts of the world, brides decorate their hands with henna as part of their wedding preparation. We've already seen this in our entry on Bulgaria, but in Kenya, a Swahili bride covers even more of her skin in creating elaborate patterns. Twigs are dipped in henna and then used to draw across the bride's limbs. She decorates her legs and feet as well as her arms and hands. This isn't the only pre-ceremony beauty treatment the wife-to-be undergoes. She will also bathe in sandalwood oil before getting married. These rituals are designed to beautify the bride and to heighten the senses. In Nigeria, the bride-to-be starts her henna beautification 2 weeks before the ceremony. This long application serves as an indicator of the couple's love. Henna is also said to bring good luck. And best of all, the bride does not have to do any housework while she has henna on her hands, so she can relax and be pampered in the lead up to her special day. Sounds ideal to us. Most brides would love that. Headdresses. Western women often choose to wear hair accessories on their wedding day, but these are usually quite subtle, like a delicate tiara, slim headband, or glittery beret. In other cultures, however, large headdresses adorn brides' hair. In Yemen, traditional brides wear costumes that date back centuries. These include very elaborate decorations around their faces and hair. They might wear a chainmetal effect headdress. This can include chandelier-style hangings on either side of the face, which are rather like very large earrings. A Yemeni Jewish bride's headdress might be made up of beads, which extend around the chin and hang down the neck. It almost looks like a very decorative beard. In Kenya, girls from the Maasai tribe also often wear lavish beaded headpieces and necklaces. These colorful pieces might have charms hanging from them, dangling in front of the bride's face. They're even more striking because of the tradition for Maasai women to have shaved heads. This means the attention goes entirely on the headdress rather than the hair. It also means there's no fear of many beads getting caught up in strands of hair. Just imagine how painful it would be to untangle dozens of those tiny beads from your long locks. Wigs. A lot of brides the world over opt for special hairdos for their special day, but we're more used to seeing this in the form of an intricate plait or a pretty updo. We don't tend to see many elaborate wigs. However, in traditional Japanese Shinto weddings, an intricate hairpiece is an essential part of the bridal outfit. A Shinto bride typically wears a complex wig and paints her face with white makeup. It's the sort of look many people associate with geisha style. She covers her wig with a white silk hood. This was traditionally used to hide the bride's horns of jealousy. It's not just white that's used in the makeup either. The kimono the bride wears is white too. This dates back to the days of the samurai. A white kimono symbolized the bride's agreement to submit herself to be dyed any color and therefore conform to the wishes of the family she was marrying into. The long dress has long sleeves, which signify that she's single. Once married, she'll wear short-sleeved kimonos to indicate her marital status. After the ceremony, a Shinto bride typically changes in a red kimono with an elaborate design for the reception. She might undergo another 3 further outfit changes as the celebrations continue. Face jewelry. It's likely that most of the brides you've ever seen have worn delicate jewelry on their wedding day. Perhaps they've been given a family heirloom, like a small pair of pearl earrings or a simple necklace. They probably haven't covered their face in gold chains. But in Djibouti, things are a little different to what most of us are used to in the West. Sultan's daughters in the African country will display the family's wealth by wearing a veil of gold jewelry across their faces. These exotic pieces are typically found in the Horn of Africa, but also further afield. When the sultans are involved in sea trade, they collect pieces during their travels. The jewelry can come from as far as India, Pakistan, Yemen, and Saudi Arabia. Typically, the chains will hang down over the eyes and nose. A nose ring will link the gold across the cheek up to the hairline, but it's still possible to see the bride's beauty shining through all that glistening gold. You'd think that you'd need a lot of money to have such an ornate wedding display, but it's not just rich families that like to put on elaborate wedding celebrations in Djibouti. Even families of more modest means will celebrate weddings over many days. Although many wedding traditions are being replaced by modern culture in Africa, there are plenty of families who continue these age-old customs. Nose rings. There are other cultures that include face jewelry in the bride's beauty look. In India, brides also traditionally wear face jewelry, but rather than completely covering the forehead like in Djibouti, Indian brides tend to favor nose rings. These large, elaborate pieces have chains linking them to more jewelry in the hair. Like all of the other jewelry that an Indian bride wears, the nose ring has related beliefs. It's called knot, and wearing one on your wedding day is an age-old custom. It has various associations which are really fascinating to learn about. out. In the ancient Ayurveda medicine tradition, it was claimed that women would experience less menstrual pain and easier childbirth if they had their nose pierced on the left side. As time went on, the nose ring was used to represent a bride's virginity, and her groom would symbolically remove her nose ring on the wedding night. There's also a link between a bride's nose ring and her new husband's family's wealth. In some states in India, the size of the nose ring represents the financial power of the bride's in-laws. Isn't that fascinating? Who knew a piece of bridal jewelry could say so much? White makeup. We've already seen how it's traditional in Shinto ceremonies for the bride to paint her face white. This can also be the case in traditional Chinese weddings. Pale faces and red lips are a classic look. Of course, when taken to the extreme, this beauty style is associated with geishas. There are theories that white makeup like this actually originated in China, and then Japanese courtesans later adopted the look during the era when China had a strong cultural influence on Japan. In those times, women made a thin white paste to apply to their faces by mixing rice powder and water. There are also various theories about why geishas chose to paint their faces so pale. One suggestion is that it made their expressions stand out more. Rooms were faintly lit by candles rather than bright artificial lighting, so by painting their faces white, their facial expressions would be more prominent. Given that reason, it makes sense that brides in these cultures would also go for this very pale look. After all, they want their faces to be seen clearly during the ceremony. In addition to this approach of making the whole face white, it's also very striking to apply white powder to parts of the face that don't normally look that way, like the eyebrows and eyelashes. Futuristic lips. Towards the end of 2016, a bold new lipstick look began trending online. Thanks to cosmetics company Sigma Beauty, everyone was talking about holographic lips. The company's lip switch glosses broke the internet. Beauty fans couldn't stop enthusing about the futuristic-looking lips they created. Other space-age lip effects have been taking over Instagram too, like makeup artist Jasmina Daniels' amazing lip art. To get this silver hollow effect, Jasmina used Jeffree Star's matte white lipstick as a base. She then layered over Sugar Pill Cosmetics' Snow White Lumi Loose eyeshadow and finished with Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild Glow Kit. Given the growing popularity of this look, we think it's only a matter of time before brides start to get bold with their lipstick choices. If you think about it, it makes perfect sense. A silvery holographic color would go perfectly with the traditional white and ivory gowns worn in the United States and much of Western Europe. There are plenty of other choices for hollow shades too, should a bride want to match her lips to her color scheme rather than her dress. The second reason we can see this trend catching on is related to that special smooch at the end of the ceremony. All eyes are on the bride's lips when she goes in for the first kiss. This kind of attention-grabbing makeup would make that memorable moment even more memorable. Let's just hope her new spouse wouldn't mind kissing a space-age pout. Which crazy wedding makeup trend would you most like to try? Check out more fun videos at The Trendy, the newest list channel in our family. And please give this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching.